Good night na po. Ibang klase talaga itong mga taga-TikTok natin kaibigan. Good night ka agad. Sige lang, sige lang. Ayan, buyak ka siya. Ayan na, ayan na, ayan na. Back to basics na naman tayo, square one. Kanina, DDS fake news, sorry, DDS bloggers hearing. Walang sumipot. Ang sumipot lang po ay mga ilan-ilan lang yan dyan. Kasama po na, kasama pa. Hindi yung mga ibang sumipot, hindi pa DDS. Katulad ng kaibigan natin na si senatorial candidate Mark Gamboa, Mark G. Mark G, aka anak ni Harry. Right. And then, dumating din yung isang parang progressive naman vlogger. And then, dumating si Malu. Malu. Very scholarly, expert. Ganun, Ay, nako. Basta, anyway. Hindi sumipot yung mga Team China. Yung yung mga DDS vloggers kanina. Pero okay lang yan. Marami tayong pag-usapan because among other things, Congresswoman Luis Ro and other, quite thoughtful, intelligent members of the lower house or yung iba naman actually sumama pa rin sa Quadcom. Mamaya na si Dan Fernandez ay may interventions dito sa issue ng double jurisdiction, dito sa issue ng whether may criminal liability yung mga ibang vloggers dyan na nagkakalat or nagpapakalat or nagko-contribute sa disinformation, misinformation, nagko-contribute sa essentially pro-China. Wag natin sabihin, baka block na naman tayo sa TikTok. Anti-West Philippine Sea statements, yung mga ganun bagay, etc. And, ito guys. Meron pala tayong meron honorary mention daw sa atin. May tinira-tira daw tayo ng mga ibang mga walang yang mga fake news vloggers. Ako may mention daw tayo. Fake news daw tayo, guys. Not true. Ito. Ito mga henyong to. Ito. Sino to? Wait lang. Na-delete na ba tong video na to? Sayang. Sir, ba't mo dinelete yung video? Meron yung video kasi minention tayo ng mga walang yung trolls na yan. Na, alam mo naman yung mga style bulok nila. Tsaka guys, di ba meron yung ito.
Richard Hidarian, he posted that by December, last year, Richard Hidarian, he posted that by December, the ICC will arrest former President Rodrigo Duterte. It did not happen. Does that constitute fake news? No, it does constitute fake news. Why is Richard Hidarian
not there?
Invited here?
Sino ba yan?
Richard Hidarian, he posted that by December, the ICC will arrest former President Rodrigo Duterte. It did not happen. Does that constitute fake news?
Fake news. Okay. Anyways, tama na. Binigyan natin ng 17 seconds airtime itong mga low life na to. Ay, wait lang. Parang paras kami ng forma. Sino ba ito? Anyway, salamat kay R2UV9G QGQO na pusa yung avatar for mentioning na meron pala tayong honorable mention. Well, unang-una, let me just make a clear distinction between disinformation, misinformation, and wrong prediction or wrong prognostications or let's say probabilistic analysis. Unang-una, ano po yung misinformation at disinformation, right? Ang disinformation po ay ito yung systematic propaganda to serve a specific political agenda at kasama dyan talaga fake news in a sense that ito yung katotohanan, kunyari, umuulan, tapos sasabihin mo, ay hindi umuulan, sunny na sunny. So you twist facts, you brazenly lie, and then you're trying to serve a certain political purpose. Misinformation naman is, kunyari, hindi mo naintindihan, ano ba talagang siyensya sa vaccines, and then natakot ka sa vaccines because may napanood ka na yung Instagram IG OG, And then nagsispread ka ng mga, oy, mag-ivermectin na lang tayo para lahat mawala. Yun, misinformation yan. So, it's not necessarily a systematic black propaganda a kind of campaign. It's more like something like, medyo yung mga overzealous na ignoramos natin kaibigan, I got a little bit more excited. Medyo sumobra sa mga kanilang RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, yung mga ganyan mga pinapanood. Medyo na marami silang Alex Jones na napanood na Deep State, yun. At, marami tayong mga kaibigan na nag-misinformation na hindi nila sinasadya. Na it's not to serve a particular political purpose. And unlike yung mga disinformation, hindi bayaran. Yung iba kasi talagang binabayaran, ganyan. So, yun ang difference. Now, let's go to the other part of this because let me just remind itong mga kaibigan natin dyan, ito po, okay? So, I tweeted that based on my interview with Justice Carpio. And just to be clear, I had also just returned from Netherlands nung time na yan. And I was able to confirm na actually the International Criminal Court was reaching out to the Philippine government and trying to get the Philippine government cooperation, full cooperation, not only re-logistics, but also reassurances na if ever mag-i-issue ng warrant of arrest, there will be a follow-through and execution of that. Yun na-confirm po natin. So when I was discussing that, Justice Carpio said from his own sources, ito nasa Philippine Daily Inquirer, sa Philippine Star, tinanong ang DOJ, tinanong Supreme Court, it looks like Justice Carpio also was able to catch some wind of some of the behind-the-scenes communications, coordinations, negotiations. So there was an optimism na before the end of the year, maybe as early as September, magkakaroon ng issuance of warrants of arrest. Now, that didn't happen not because there was a deliberate attempt to misinform. It's because hindi namin hawak yan ni Justice Carpio. We don't have control over whether BBM is willing to go the extra mile and coordinate with the ICC. For all we know, behind the scenes, may concerns ng BBM administration is manggugulo ang mga Dutertes. I was told some confidential information that the Dutertes threatened to do some really crazy stuff, including si Digong. So siguro natakot si BBM or siguro nag-reconsider si BBM. Alam natin may religious group eventually nagsasagawa ng peace rally. So there could be a number of reasons, including very sensitive, very serious issues that deterred President Marcos Jr. from clearing the Department of Justice from coordinating. But I and Justice Carpio, what we were able to confirm was that my effort ng ICC to reach out. Now, having said that, ICC actually operates with tremendous amount of secrecy. So actually, it's very hard to get 100% like accurate information. But it looks like yung mga nagagather namin, ni Ronald Llamas, Senator Trillanes, si Justice Carpio, ay medyo tumutugma na may mga negosasyon, coordination, cooperation nangyari. Now, hindi namin kasalanan kung hindi nagkaroon ng political will si BBM to completely coordinate with ICC. Hindi po yan misinformation, hindi po yan disinformation. Katulad ng sinabi ng minamahal natin senador, bababa tayo! Diba? Bababa tayo! Diba? Bababa tayo! Diba? I mean, so, that was a prognostication na so it was actually a probabilistic analysis based on limited available information. But anyone who bothers to actually research about it, we know that behind the scenes, it's a fact that ICC is trying to move forward and push this to its logical conclusion. Why was Mato-Bato eventually brought, hindi ko sasabihin saan siya, but brought out of the country, right? To provide. So, in what DDS genius world is that a disinformation, misinformation, right? At most, what you can say is that sumablay yung prognostication. Okay lang yan. Lahat naman, nagkakamali once in a while. Yeah, that's why gumawa tayo ng isang video kung saan we reminded everyone about everything that we got right throughout the years. And I'm not saying that para magyabang ako na, napakagaling ko. Of course, tao lang tayo. We get some things right. We don't get some things right. But last time I checked, we got a lot of things right, including a lot of things about budol ng mga DDS, budol ng Team Unity. Lahat yan, medyo kuha natin, na-posting natin dyan sa among other places, of course, dyan sa TikTok. So, for instance, guys, ito. So, I made a video out of that.
Ito. Parating narinig sa mga trolls. Oh, Richard, lahat ng mga sabi mo, supply. Wait lang. Let's be absolutely clear.
2016 ko palang sinabi na under Digong, the Philippines will have very problematic relationship with the West, with America.
Nasa libro natin yan, sa mga articles natin yan, sa mga social media posts natin yan, na maging pro-China, napapalpak yung pro-China policy na maging anti-US yan, wala rin mangyari.
Digong mismo ay umamin naman.
Yung sabi ko, sasablay, mag-fail yung Digong drug war, nangyari, si Digong mismo umamin 3 to 6 months. Yung sinabi ko, yung mga investments ng China, hindi mangyayari yan, pledge lang yan, bola-bola lang yan, nangyari yan. Nung sinabi ko, si Digong ay sasablay yan in terms of making Sara the next president dahil mahidwaan, pumalpak siya, and eventually, ito, BBM. 2021 pa lang, may articles tayo about, and BBM winning, this is November 16, 2021. Ex-president's son, ex-dictator's son has the presidency within reach. I can go on and on about this. Golden Age, medyo budol, di mangyari. Nagkatotoo yan. Yung mga walang yung unity na DDS, kayo ang pro-Marcos ng elections ng 20... Marcos will be friendlier to the West. Sinulat natin yan. June pa lang, I wrote about that. So, I'm sorry guys. I'm sorry. Fake news. Not true. So, eto mga walang yung mga DDS vloggers na yan, na nagpapakalat ng fake news, na walang totoong publications, na walang legit na sinulat, na walang track record ng any credible analysis, na clearly something fishy is going on, na sarap nila mag-junket dyan sa Beijing, right? Zhongnanhai, diba? Forbidden City, sabay-sabay, diba? Sinong nag-sponsor dyan? Kamusta naman dyan? Yung iba naman dyan, based pa rin dyan sa Beijing. Bakit kaya? Yan, okay? Bakit yung mga sinasabi nila ay parang sobrang tumutugma sa talking points ng isang embahada sa Manila? Yan ang disinformation. Or to be nice, baka misinformation lang iba. Yung, kunyari, si Attorney Punay, sorry. Sino yung kumakanta dati? Tapos biglang next thing you know, expert na siya sa on-clause. Sabihin natin misinformation yan. Nagfi-feeling si Kuya na naintindihan niya yung on-clause. Ano ba naman kami ni J. Batumbaka, Justice Carpio, sinulat lang naman namin yung libro about the whole West Philippine disputes and its history and the on-clause and all of that. Yan, medyo misinformation siguro yan. Pero yung ibang kaibigan natin, sana naman, bago kayo mag-whataboutism, umayos naman kayo dyan. So, are you saying kami ni Justice Carpio ay fake news just because we were quite optimistic that BBM may have finally found the political will to push ahead despite the fact that we know that the ICC has been pushing for full coordination? Di namin kasalanan yan. Di ko kasalanan yan. And that's why I've been critical of BBM. Ilang beses ko sinabi, is BBM Team Kuting? Where is the Machiavellian, where is the political will? Kaya nga sinasabi niyan tuloy-tuloy yan. Di na namin kasalanan yan. And I don't mind if we get some of our prognostications that don't go right. Well, we get most of the stuff right, and andyan po yung mga libro natin. 2016-17 ko palang sinulat. Sabi ko, the Philippines is entering twilight zone. The drug war, essentially sabi natin, budol. Philippines is gonna be super pro-China under Digong. Lahat po yan nangyari. In fact, 2014-15, dun sa libro natin, Asia's New Battlefield, sinulat ko ng 2014, mostly on-clause in South China Sea. But there, napredict po natin. Kinuot pa nung isang columnist ng Manila Times, sabi ko, the next Philippine president will most likely be very close to China. Back then, Binay was the likely front-runner, and Binay was a front-runner until actually January ng Pulse Asia Survey ng 2016. So, I'm sorry, yung mga kaibigan natin na mga ka-DDS, no. Alright? We're not the same level. We're not the same. If you're gonna do whataboutism, mag-compare kayo ng sarili sa mga tao na katulad niyo, walang publication, walang legit na ginawa, walang scholarly na ginawa. At yung, meron pa isang DDS vlogger na nag-feeling na pa-scholar. Excuse me, just because nag-graduate ka in some non-Ivy League school, in some non-Anglophone country, whatever, just because Europe, whatever yan, that doesn't make you an expert. For you to be an expert, you have to publish academic books, journal articles. Kung ang Google Scholar mo ay zero pa rin hanggang ngayon, kung hindi ka pa rin tinatrato ng legit, no legit media is treating you as a legit expert, hindi nga ini-interview ng legit media ng international, then wag tayo magpanggap na expert tayo, ganun. Anyway, hindi ko sinasabi na disinformation hindi ko sinasabi na yung mga talking points ni ay medyo parang alam na natin this, malajong ng high, diba? So, Anyways, ang kagandahan po nangyari kanina is that Congresswoman Luis among others asked about criminal liability. Kasi mukhang yung iba dyan ay nagfi-feeling dahil sa labas sila ng bansa, they can do whatever they want, and that dahil demokrasya tayo and may freedom of expression tayo, they can do whatever they want. Pwede nilang babastusin yung ating bansa, babastusin yung ating karapatan, babastusin yung mga tao right and left. So, obviously, hindi nagpakita itong mga duwag na to. Itong mga mga vloggers na to kanina kasi alam na mapapaya talaga sila. Alright? At yung mga whataboutism nila, but si Haydar yan, yung isang forecast na hindi nakatugma, fake news ba yan? I mean, pama ba tayo? Like, wait, alam mo, sa totoo lang, scraping the bottom talaga. Saan kumukuha ng mga, ganito na lang, wala na bang mas magagaling na makakuha ng mga DDS? Wala kayong makuha kahit isang legit na scholar na dissenting publications na mga international. Wala. Tapos, sino tong mga to? I mean, like, I don't even know these people, di ba? Ayan na naman tayo. And then, on a serious note, etong mga walang yung mga DDS bloggers na ibang dyan yan, year after year, hinaras tayo, binastos tayo, nag-fake news sila, nilibel tayo, salacious BS kung anong sinasabi sa atin, kine-question tayo, excuse me, unlike you lowlifes, alright? We work in legitimate world, we work hard for everything we have, and unlike you lowlifes, because we work at the highest levels, meaning top institutions and in every sense of the word, actually we can have decent, ethical, and relatively, alam na natin this, konyotic life. So, di ko nakasalanan na yung iba dyan na mukhang nagkaroon ng daming amo, paiba-iba yung elections, yung isang elections na uniteam pa, pero hanggang ngayon, balita ko, sabi nga nung isang, nagpapautang pa. Anyway, okay. I don't wanna be mean, but I'm just saying, ilang taon na tayo na gaslight, ilang taon na tayo binastos, nilibel na mga walang yung mga to, and now it's time to take care of these low lives. I'm telling you guys, these low lives, they have been poisoning the well of democratic discourse for a long, long time, and something has to be done about it in accordance to the law and our constitutional principles. Alright? Let's be very clear about it. Pero mahalaga talaga ma-call out talaga itong mga taong to because I'm telling you guys, the fact na these people had 6, 7, 8 years to just do whatever they want with impunity, spread nonsense. Buti nga nanalo, shoutout dun sa former colleague at kaibigan natin, si Atom Aurelio. Buti nga, kinasuhan. And by the way, I'm against criminalization ng libel. Civil dapat yung case. Kung itong mga walang yan ng mga vloggers na if they're found talaga to be libelous na lang, buti nga may pasensya ako at saka busy pa ako they have to pay for that. Literally, they have to pay. I don't believe in criminalization. I'm against it. And sa pagkaalam natin, may internal circular daw ang Supreme Court encouraging the courts not to hand down criminal punishment but more like essentially financial punishment. So, yung iba naman, medyo maganda-ganda yatang kita nila. So, baka naman, kailangan na magbayad. No, you get what I'm saying? No, but on an honest note, guys, hindi tayo pwede magkaroon ng isang matinong bansa. Hindi tayo pwede magkaroon ng national security kung hayaan lang natin na bababuyin yung ating demokrasya and mga other things. Hayaan lang natin na babastusin kung sinong presidente. Back in the day, binabastos si Pinoy na lumaban sa China, kung ano-ano, Abnoy, Pinoy, kung anong sinasabi nila. Tapos ngayon, attack sila kay BBM, bangag, ganyan-ganyan. Tapos kung titignan mo, sino idol nila? Digong? Seriously, by what metric is Digong in any sense of the word? Embodiment of competence, eloquence, or anything like that. Yeah, he's charismatic, unfortunately, for very problematic reasons. Because marunong siya mag-manipulate. Marunong siya mag-exploit ng unfortunate political ignorance. Marunong siya mag-exploit ng politics of anger and dissatisfaction and yung mga kakulangan ng ibang administration. Yes. But sana naman, bago nyo bastusin si BBM, bastusin si Pinoy, siguraduhin nyo yung Piatos nyo, yung si Mary Grace nyo, yung si Inday nyo, or si Digong nyo, or yung mga kapatid niya, ay may K. May K. Alright? And just to be clear, we don't know if the Dutertes are anywhere close to the level of popularity they used to have. Because base sa mga latest survey na alam natin, for instance, in Okta, Sara doesn't even have a majority net approval, gross approval. Her net approval is just over 20%. Digong is not even in the equation anymore, but siguro if nagkaroon ng survey or something, I don't think he'll do very well. Remember, there were surveys about Digong running for vice president, and his numbers were very low. Eventually, Digong didn't run for anything, VP or Senate or anything like that. And Digong, Polong, whatever, all of these people didn't also run for Senate these elections. Because alam natin, medyo alanganin sila. So Dutertes are still popular, of course they have but they're not at the same level anymore. But anyway, let's not get away. My point here is, we need to become a serious country. At kanina, I think we had just the first move in the right direction. No offense to isang kaibigan natin na senador dyan. I know back in the day, nagkaroon din ng isang hearing sa Senate kung saan inimbita yung mga fake news blogger na yan. But I think, to be honest, I felt back then, medyo masyadong nag-bear hog and soft-handed or soft-pedaled yung Senate sa kanila. But this time, wala na sila sa power. And alam nila, talagang mapapahiya sila dyan sa, sa hearings na yan, nagpapakalat sila ng mga fake news and ng mga other things. And for all we know, baka nga may money trail pa. For all we know, baka there's something even more sinister going on. But again, as I said, please check out itong hearing kanina, because I think there was a couple of very interesting things that came up that I found very interesting, especially in terms of criminal liability, issues of double jurisdiction. As always, Congressman Luister was very, very impressive in terms of her interventions. I just don't like when they overuse yung mga Latin terms and all of that. I hope they appreciate that not everyone does legalist, Latin, whatever. And like if you're really intelligent and high level. At dito gusto ko yung mga Amerikano. In fairness, have you noticed, American lawyers, they don't go and, they throw out Latin terms and all. I watched Kavanaugh's hearings before he was very controversial, before he became Supreme Court Chief Justice. If you listen to the hearings they had in the US Senate, sobrang walang jargons. So, minsan, sorry, no offense, medyo natatrying hard ako sa mga abogado sa Pilipinas na nagtatapon ng mga archaic or Latin terms or whatever. No, you are a public servant. You have to make the legal language as accessible as possible. And kung binasa niyo yung US Constitution, actually, it's very easy to understand. It's plain English language, very egalitarian democratic, unlike yung sa atin na very trying hard yung prose. To be honest, yung mga nagsulat ng ibang dyan, none of them will get published in any legitimate international newspaper or whatever. Sa sobrang pangit ng prose. No offense. Anyway, having said that, there were some interesting exchanges kanina. In fact, isa sa mga pinaka-interesting, kasi tatlo lang nagpakita eh. Hindi ko na alam ang sinabi ni Mark Gamboa doon. And obviously, Mark Gamboa was not there as a DDS blogger. Obviously, he's there from the other side of the fence. And then, andun si Malu, no, comment na lang. Pero ito yung interesting back and forth ni Wait, ba't nawala? Wait, it was there. Wait. Ano yung attorney Mark Oleta, ito, kasi papunta na tayo kay Mark Oleta, alright? Papunta na tayo sa exciting part. Ito. Ayan, ito si Mark. Wait lang.
Must empower
Ito.
people.
Ito.
Attorney, abogado ka pala na nagtuturo sa Ateneo. At sinasabi mo, ang diferensya ng private sa public figure, pagka public figure ay hindi basta-basta. Kahit na biray.
Wait, parang winayata yung internet. Anyway, I suggest you check yung back and forth nila with Ricky Tomotorgo. I think ito yung isa sa yung isang vlogger and all of that, na actually critical sa mga Dutertes and all of that. So, I think itong si Sir Mark Oleta, took up the cudgels talaga for ano na natin dyan.
Kasi sinabi mo kanina, we must empower our people. Tama naman yan. We have to enlighten our people, because if our people are able to distinguish what is fake and what is true, sila lang, they can always repel.
Jesus.
Maski na konting tulong lang eh. Halimbawa kanina sabi ni Chair Dan, ang problema natin is the West Philippine Sea, sabi natin But sinong agency ng government ang nag-empower sa ating mga kababayan para malaman nilang complications ng West Philippine Sea? Isipin po natin, sir, there is not there is nothing as West Philippine Sea.
There's no such thing as. Sana naman, pag mag-English tayo, isa-isa naman natin.
Wala po yun. That is a creation by us. Sa totoo lang po, kahit nabasahin mo yung ating mapa or what, there is no West Philippine Sea. Ang West Philippine Sea, yun po yung area na kiniklaim natin, ito yung exclusive economic zone. The complications of the West Philippine Sea has not been explained to our people. Kaya po, nagiging vulnerable tayong lahat eh. Ang sinasabi nila, inoccupied daw ng China ang ating territory. Sir, sa totoo lang po, if CICC and other agencies would cooperate with one another to empower our people, to educate them all, wala pong madidisip kahit ano pang gawin ng China. Kasi alam po na we are all claimants dito po sa panig ng South China Sea. Several of us, Philippines, China, Vietnam, hindi po natin alam ang Vietnam as the most features occupied in the South China Sea.
Yeah, but not in the West Philippine Sea. See, these are talking points that sound very DDS. No offense to him.
They had 22, China is 14, tayo, 8, Malaysia, 14.
No,
Taiwan,
Malaysia is not 14.
Pero po, kaya po nagsimula dito, yung mga
Actually, even China hindi.
Ang mga kababayan natin, kahit na pong i-feed mo sa kanya, akala niya ito because we were unable to educate them. We have not enlightened them as to the complications.
Okay. First of all, let's be very clear. Sana si Sir, bago mag-question ng West Philippines, sana question niya yung China muna. Ano yung 9-dash line ng China? Yan ang talagang invention ng fake news. Alright? Yung China's 9-dash line. Let's be absolutely clear about that. Hindi niya question yan. Pangalawa, hindi niya na-clarify na yung mga features na kinokontrol ng Vietnam ay actually labas karamihan dun sa mga kiniklaim natin at labas sa West Philippine Sea. That's a false equivalence, and no offense, that has a lot of overlap with a lot of pro-China talking points I've heard. Hindi ko sinasabi pro-China siya, but and then the other thing that we have to also emphasize here, isa sa mga dahilan na nahihilo yung mga ating mga kababayan na iba sa issue ng West Philippine Sea, iba, actually minority lang eh. Because the vast majority of the Filipinos, kung titignan natin ang surveys, 80 to 90% of Filipinos are absolutely clear-eyed about our rights in the West Philippine Sea. In fact, SWS, Pulse Asia, Okta, practically every major polling agency has shown that almost 9 out of 10 Filipinos believe that yung ginagawa ng China ay mali at may karapatan tayo sa West Philippine Sea base sa ating, base sa prevailing international law at ating victory sa Arbitral Tribunal Award noong 2016. So actually, unang-una, mali po si Sir, hindi confused ang karamihan ng Pilipino. But the few people na unfortunately ay mukhang medyo malabo pa rin yung positioning nila, ito po ay dahil hindi sa pagkakulang ng informasyon. Ito po ay dahil po sa misinformation and disinformation, including by yung mga kaibigan ni Sir. Alright? Including by yung mga kaibigan ni Sir. Alright? Yung mga kaibigan ni Sir, si Digong, we can go, mga other things. Hindi ko masabi si Sara kasi si Sara pahalos walang sinabi eh. May sinabi lang siya sa China kaso in Mandarin, hindi ko maintindihan. But do you get what I'm saying? Actually, first of all, vast majority of Filipinos know what are the facts. Second and more important, the 3%, 5% na pro-China sa Philippines or pro-Digong's version of the story on the West Philippine Sea, ito po ay unfortunately mga misinformed na mga kababayan natin. Misinformed lang po sila. At na-misinform po sila dahil na disinformation po sila. So I don't know what the good congressman ba to? Whatever, party list congressman na to. I don't know whatever yung ano na tong kuya na to. What I think is very important is not to downplay the fact that we have to do something about disinformation and misinformation, but for me, disinformation is the number one threat. Dahil meron tayong ebidensya, DICT, nakita nila, different agencies, National Security Council, AFP, lahat po sila may intelligence, may information. Pwede nyo panoorin yung hearing kung saan pinag-usapan nila. Point blank, sinabi po nila, yes, there is a campaign of disinformation against the Philippines, backed up by, alam na natin kung sinong bansa yan. Hindi ko na sasabihin kasi baka mabana na naman tayo sa TikTok, gagawa na naman sila ng kwento. Imagine itong mga lang yung TikTok na yan. nag-reply lang ako doon sa mga trolls na napaka-bastos. Nag-emoji lang ako ng clown and ganon. Binan ako bigla. Like, what a nonsense. What a nonsense basis. May mga haters talaga tayo doon sa loob ng TikTok na yan. So, umayos-ayos kayo dyan. I'm gonna call you out. So, buti nga may mga kaibigan tayo na matinu-tinu dyan sa TikTok Philippines. They restored this account. But, that's what I'm saying. Hindi lang tayo may disinformation at misinformation. Meron pa tayong guys, mga app dyan na pro-China nag-amplify ng disinformation na anti-West Philippine Sea. At yung mga katulad po natin na who are trying so hard to spread the right message, nasa-shadow ban tayo dyan sa TikTok na yan. Alam mo ilang beses, may video ako. Every time nag-upload ako ng anything about West Philippines, either hindi siya na-upload, nalalog out ako bigla, or nasa-shadow ban siya. Imagine mo guys, yung ibang video mo, 300,000 views, biglang yung West Philippines mo, 0 views, 10 views, 15 views, come on. That's ridiculous. It's impossible. It's impossible. So, anyway, my point here is that, no offense, first of all, before questioning what is West Philippine Sea, question yung China's 9-line claim, which is almost entire South China Sea basin. West Philippine Sea is just a name we put on our exclusive economic zone based on prevailing international law. 2011 pa lang may resolution tayong pinasa, kahapon kausap po natin si Congressman Walden Bello, 2011 pa lang may resolution tayo renaming our continental shelf and exclusive economic zone as West Philippine Sea. There's nothing controversial about this, and that was affirmed by international law based on UNCLOS. And speaking of Vietnam, ito hindi ko sinasabi nagdi-disinformation, but may pagka-misinformation yung sinabi ni Kuya. Actually, Vietnam accepted that result, even though they were not a party, in a sense that they're not claiming features and resources within our exclusive economic zone. All right. Now, there's a difference between sovereign rights and sovereign claims. As far as sovereign rights to fisheries, yung mga energy resources concerned, wala tayong problema with Vietnam, with Malaysia, even with Taiwan. Ang problema lang po natin is China. Because yung China po ay nagka-claim ng 85% of entire South China Sea. We're just claiming the little part of South China Sea that falls within our exclusive economic zone. So yun, let's be absolutely clear, very, very clear about that. All right? The other thing also that we have to be very clear about that is, hindi po totoo itong idea ng, sinasabi ni Harry ito ni Harry Abu Dhabi. Itong idea niya na, let the marketplace of ideas. It's a US Supreme Court case kung saan essentially sabi nila, wala namang problema sa misinformation. At the end of the day, let good information cancel out bad information. But ang problema kasi po natin is, yung mga ganitong jurisprudence po ay irrelevant na sa era natin ng algorithmic disinformation. In an era of the rise of China and rise of artificial intelligence, and in an era of all of these troll farms and itong mga low lives na trolls na yan and all of that. So, something has to be done about it. Kaya even if hindi sumipot etong mga vloggers na yan, for understandable reason, even if may mga kaewanan silang pinagsasabi na, bakit kung yung sinabi ni Danny ng fake news ba, yung mga ganun, kahit yung mga ganun may mga ganun ang sinasabi na, the point is, mga kameta, we have to seriously create guardrails. Alright? The operative term here is guardrail. Dapat meron tayong basic rules of the game whereby wala naman problema na criticize yung Philippine foreign policy. Ako rin, minsan sinasabi ko, baka naman si BBM masyadong malapit sa US. Etong si Trump, hindi naman yata reliable yan. Okay lang yan. Pati tayo, kinikriticize natin ang government. Harap-harapan pa sa mga government officials dun sa ating utak forum, among others. But, napaka-suspicious po when we see some people basically copy-pasting talking points from a rival or enemy country. From isang rising imperialist power na gustong sasakupin yung West Philippine Sea at bubuliin yung mga maliit na bansa. And then next thing you know, meron silang junket sa Beijing. Next thing you know, meron silang fellowship sa Beijing. Next thing you know, base na sa Beijing. Next thing you know, okay, yan medyo suspicious na yan. Hindi na, ibang usapan na yan. So actually, the fact na hindi sumimpot yung mga vloggers na yan, I think should be a good indication na something more decisive has to be done about this. Siguro yung iba hindi na babalik sa Pilipinas, hindi ko lang kay Maharlika. Pero yung mga pero hindi ko sinasabi na nakasama siya dito. I'm just saying yung mga ibang vloggers lang. Baka hindi way. Pero yung mga yung iba siguro na umasa na weather lang yan at lulusot tayo. the importance of this hearing was that it's showing that increasingly there's an awareness, recognition, and hopefully a serious response to this clear and present national security threat. And speaking of national security threat, right? Parating pinag-usapan ng ito yung nakakatawa, di ba? Ito yung nakakatawa, di ba? Parating sinasabi ng mga ka-DDS natin, hindi, kailangan ng confidential funds, si ganito, si ganyan, si Sara, ganyan. Kasi parating tayo may national security threat, mga ganyan, ek-ek na yan. Well, dito, impress ako sa mga tao na interesting, katulad ni the former Commissioner Heidi Mendoza. She had a very, very interesting intervention the other day.
Commissioner Heidi Mendoza, you have 30 seconds po. Mga minamahal kong
Itong
kababayan,
issue ng confidential fund.
napakinggan natin at napanood ang talakayan sa Kongreso kung paano ginamit ang intelligence funds. Rumampa si Mary Grace at 125 million inubos sa 11 araw. Sa gitna ng kahirapan, tumataas na gasolina, nagugutom at hindi nakakapasok ang mga dapat nasa eskwela. Bakit natin bibigyan ng confi funds ang mga ahensyang walang direct na mandato sa national security? Attorney Bondoc, you have
Ayan na yung mga DDS natin. Attorney na siya ngayon, ha? Saan mo nag-aralin?
Dito ay hindi agad-agad. Nagkakaisa po tayo na talagang dapat labanan ng korupsyon. Ngunit ako po ay naniniwala na ang lahat ng government agencies ay may kinalaman sa national security. Ang national security po ay hindi lang terorismo, komunismo, kundi po minsan internal threats sa ahensya at sa mga empleyado.
Wait.
At ang COA po ay...
Gusto yata ni Kuya, bati PhilHealth, bati TESDA. Sige, bigyan natin ng barel. Sige, bigyan natin ng barel ng mga taga-TESDA, taga-PhilHealth. Baka naman, may baka may NPA na pumapasok sa PhilHealth. Baka may NPA na papasok na sa TESDA, di ba? Yan naman. Parang naging abogado. Kaya sabi ko, ewan kung nanggalat tabi-tabi lang siguro yan.
Commissioner Heidi,
Hindi lang terorismo, komunismo, kundi kuminsan internal threats sa ahensya at sa mga empleyado nito. At ang COA po ay naglabas ng magandang circular 2015-01 na meron namang guidelines upang...
Kakainin siya ng buhay dito ni Heidi Mendoza.
Hindi agad-agad.
reaction niyo po, Commissioner Mendoza, may circular daw ho. Salamat, Atty. Bondoc, at nabanggit ang circular na ating pinagtulong-tulungan, pinaghirapang gawin, 2015-1. Malinaw po doon at sinasabi,
Mag-gitara ka na lang, Kuya.
entitled sa confidential funds, di ba? Ay kung ikaw ay Department of Education, ayaw ba naman nagawa na ng ibang sekretary na walang confi? Eh bakit ngayon meron?
Exactly. Exactly. Kung ganun, bakit si Sara lang sa DepEd na may confidential fund? Bakit hindi yung TESDA? Bakit hindi yung PhilHealth? DPWH, bigyan natin ng mga barel mga yan, ng brigade military na yan. Dahil nga, di ba, DPWH, gumagawa ng bridge, gumagawa ng superhighway, biglang baka may NPA na sumugot. Bigyan natin ng tangke ang DPWH. Di ba, ganun ka, di ba? Kaya sabi nga ni Cynthia, pababa tayo. Di ba, yung mga ganyan
Ang
argument.
inyong tugon, you have 30 seconds.
Ang tanong ko lang po kay kagalang-galang po na Ma'am Heidi,
Ito, ang ganda ng comeback ni Heidi Mendoza.
Meron po sa inyong karanasan na mga pondo na inaabuso ng mga ahensya. At kung meron po, dapat din po bang tanggalin?
Ito yung classic na naman na whataboutism ng mga ka-DDS. Ang ganda ng pag-shutdown ni Heidi Mendoza. Parating ganun ng mga style ng mga DDS. Sabi nyo mag-corruption confidential man, may corruption din naman sa ganitong budget. Tanggalin na natin lahat ng budget. Tapos tignan ang ganda ng response. Yung mga ganitong mga... Hindi ganun kagaling talaga mga DDS, promise, to be honest. Kaya nga, nagtataka ako na... Anyways, whatever. Hindi. But anyway, tingnan mo yung sagot ni Mendoza.
Lahat ng pondo na ito.
Atty.
or
Bondoc,
kahit
hindi po
inaabuso.
ito issue ng type of funds. Ito po ay
Issue
issue
ng
ng type of
audit.
Iba po ang audit ng confidential funds. Ito nga po ay cash advance at hindi po nakikita ang mga supporting documents.
Do you get what I'm saying? Ang ganda nung sagot niya, di ba? Ang sagot, unang-una, sabi ni Ma'am Mendoza, kung ito ang issue ng, sabi mo, di ba, lahat, national security threat, sige, bakit di natin bigyan ng barrel ng DPWH, TESDA, shut down. Tapos yung sagot naman, ma'am, kung corruption ang problema, may corruption din ganito, meron na naman tayong ganun. Bakit? Meron naman tayong corruption. Yung Cynthia Villar, bakit? Sabi naman niya, ang pagkakaiba dito, yung mga ibang budget na yan, hindi sila confidential fund. Actually, pwede mo sila i-directly scrutinize. Kaya nga yung mga kaibigan natin sila, Justice Carpio, Cello, etc., na-booking nila or allegedly na-booking nila yung mga anomalies dahil hindi po confidential fund yung GAA. Yung buong GAA, syempre may mga confidential fund na siguro nandun dati, but yung buong GAA ay relatively transparent. Pwede mo titignan yan at pwede mong i-scrutinize yan. Yung confidential funds na yan ay napakaliit po yung level of transparency at accountability dyan. Kasi nga, confidential fund. Kaya immediately, sobrang sablay yung whataboutism na yan. Kaya nga, problema natin yung confidential fund kasi nga walang scrutiny. In fact, if anything, kung magaling magdebate, kung tinuruan mag-debate na mabuti ang mga kaibigan natin na DDS, in fact, yung argument na sinasabi mo, kung lahat ng pondo ay corrupt, lalong-lalo na dapat wala tayong confidential fund. Kung sobrang corrupt yung ating bansa, then lalong dapat wala tayong confidential fund kasi lalong-lalo magkaroon ng corruption kung confidential fund dahil lalong-lalo maliit yung scrutiny at lalong-lalo na yung propensity to corruption ay nandyan. Diba? Logic. Yun ang point ko. Pero syempre, ito kasi, maliit lang time mo, 30 seconds. But in fairness, I was very impressed with Ma'am Heidi Mendoza. Kaya kanina sabi ko, message ka natin. So, let's hope to have Ma'am Mendoza on our, Heidi Mendoza on our show soon. Hopefully, also in person. I'm trying to arrange later this month. Sana on-site tayo with different people. And I'll try to talk to as many people as possible. Kung may mga... I've already debated banat by yung iba na okay na ako sa DDS. But if ever si Vic Rodriguez, Kingmaker, mga ganun, gusto makipag okay lang ako. But I'll try to talk to everyone. Change makers, progressive change makers, from Chel Jokno to Heidi Mendoza. In fairness, even traditional liberals, sila Bam, Kiko, kausapin natin lahat. Sige, pati government din, kausapin natin, tarayin natin, ano bang gusto nila mangyari. Lahat yan, pag-usapan natin. And then, of course, si Senator Trillanes, yung paborito ng mga ka-DDS natin. Kasi, parati kayong binubuking ni Sunny. Alright. Anyways, mag-gitara na lang, no? Anong kanta niya? Yung One Hit Wonder? Naalala ko pa rin yung time nung pina-fact-check sila sa Facebook. Sabi niya, lipat daw sila sundun sa Russia, Facebook. Ibang klase. Pero favorite ko pa rin talaga si Attorney Poon eh. Kilala lang si Attorney Poon, yung si Richard. Biglang expert sa on-clause. Akalain mo. Biglang expert sa matters of jurisdiction. Biglang expert sa Article 7, Annex 7 of on-clause, compulsory arbitration. Yan, medyo misinformation. In fairness, hindi disinformation. Medyo si Kuya medyo masyadong advanced nag-isip. Medyo... Kumbaga kung Geely yung mo, wag ka mag-Lamborghini moves, di ba? No offense. Alright, anyway. Ano ulit yung kanta ni, ni Jimmy, Jimmy Boy. Yan, Jimmy Boy. Pero yung kay Jimmy, mabait siya ngayon, Mabait naman siya ngayon, pero hindi ko makalimutan yung mga tao na nag-enable at nag-support ng EJ case, ng mga kababalagan ni Digong sa mga West Philippines, yung mga kalokohan. At ngayon, apologies pa sa confidential fund ni Sara Duterte. But, guys, whether it's the great Marcoleta, whether it's Jimmy Bondoc, and then yesterday, of course, pinag-usapan natin si Robin Hood Padilla and Bato de la Rosa. Yan, talagang ibang klase talagang team DDS, diba? Team DDS. But, ano yun, hindi ko alam kung nakita yun, guys. Yung yung dating boyfriend ni Chris Aquino, yung tatay nung panganay niya. Sino yung action star? Na medyo titong-tito na masyado ngayon. Meron siyang, anong pangalan nun? Hindi si Harry Roque. Yung tatay ni yung panganay, Philip Salvador, yun. Philip Salvador, di ba? Meron. Oh my goodness. Nakita niyo ba yung ni Philip Salvador? Salvador. Talagang konyo talaga tayo. Salvador. Ano yung term ng konyo sa Latin America? May kaibigan tayo yung mga Latino friends natin, Uruguay, they were telling me. May term din sila sa mga konyo. Salvador. Philip Salvador. Hindi, meron. Ito, kung akala nyo, yung brother Louie nung tatlo ay, ito na yata. Hindi ako makatulog hanggang makita ko to. Hindi, andito talaga yan, guys. Philip Salvador. Guys, we need to end on an entertaining note. Since we covered the whole base, Mark Coleta, Jimmy Bondoc, yung mga vloggers natin na kaibigan. Alam ko kasi, matutuwa si Lord De Vera sa atin. Ay, bakit kasama ni Philip Sal? Aba, si Isko ay pulang-pula. Anyway. Wait. Oh, mamaya natin magkasa. Hindi, meron yung sayaw-sayaw si Philip Salvador ngayon. Yung mga gumaganon-ganon siya eh. Meron siyang ganon. Gusto ko hanapin. Saan yun? Saan yung Philip Salvador, guys? Promise, the best yan. Pag nakita niyo yan, guys. Ay, well lang, na-curious ako. Meron pala siyang series na ganyan.
Ako po si Philip Salvador. Hindi po ako abogado, hindi rin po ako doktor, hindi rin po ako engineer. Ako po isang artista lang. Pero ako po yung artistang magiging epektibong gumawa ng mga batas para sa pangangailangan ng mga Pilipino. Epektibong tutugunan pa ang mga pangangailangan ng OFW. Epektibong maisayos pa ang edukasyon ng mga kasal ko po. Sana'y samahan niyo ako sa aking magiging epektibo.
Parang
Dahil ang laban niyo.
Parang narinig ko na kay ano yun kay Willie Revillame Aba si Willie ngayon ay bench model baka mamaya makancel pang bench dahil kay Willie. Ito. Hindi, meron yung nagsasayaw-sayaw siya, hinahanap ko talaga yan, Philip Salvador. Kainis, ba't wala na siya? Meron kasi, kasi yung parang ang style kasi noon, yung parang nagsasayaw-sayaw siya, tapos feel niya, pero yung parang nangyari doon is, magaling production team, sino-zoom in and out yung video. So parang naging gumagana siya. Tapos may mga lighting system para mag-rave siya, tapos Philip Salvador, Dukes. Basta guys, ipopost ko na bukas. Hanapin ko mamaya. Meron talaga. Pero, di ba tayo pagod sa mga artista? May Lito Lapid na tayo. Meron na tayong Robin Hood Padilla. May Bato ka pa. Si Bato hindi artista technically, pero sa tingin ko, yung Bato School of Drama and Arts ay talaga isa sa mga paborito ka. Kung ako si Bato de la Rosa, pagkatapos ng election niyan, kasi most likely matatalo din siya, magbukas po siya ng drama school. Bato School of Drama and Arts. Talagang magaling magdrama itong siya. Pero ito si Kuyang Philip Salvador, hindi po ako ganito. Tapos pag ako, lalagay ko yung sayaw niya. Dugs. Parang, so may rave siya. Pero sobrang titong-tito kasi yung mga moves niya. Alam mo yung mga tito moves na hanggang dito lang yung move, yung hanggang shoulder lang. Yung medyo hindi na di ba? Kasi syempre kung medyo ka pa, Latino ka pa, may kaya mo pa yung mga the moves na ganyan. Pero yung medyo tito ka, yung hanggang ganyan ka lang, ganyan. Tapos idaan mo na lang sa production, di ba? Tapos rave music, Philip Salvador, ganun. Anyways guys, hanapin natin yan bago tayo magkakalat. Speaking of, alam mo, Bon Cyrus, you're reading my mind. I was actually thinking about Camille Villar. Alam mo guys, si Camille Villar, ay napansin ko gumagaling na siya umarte. Sa dami niyang commercials, parang gumagaling siya. Parang first time in my life, I've seen a candidate na sa daming mga commercials and all. Actually parang, gumagaling siya umarte. Parang, okay pala. Actually, pwede ka pala gumaling umarte kung ang dami mong pera mag-commercials and all. In fairness, impressed ako. Imagine may mga drama na siya ngayon, mga gano'n. Tapos tutulungan niya. Ako naman, sinasabi ko, sa yaman nila, kailangan ba nila mag-senador para tumulong sa bayan? Pero naman kayo gumawa ng charity, bigyan na ng free computer yung mga kabataan. Kailangan ba nila mag-ano? But anyways, kailangan ko talaga hanapin yung video na kasi promise guys, yung brother Louie, yung mga ganyan. Wala yan guys, yung kay Philip Salvador. Yung talagang tito moves Tito moves. Kaya pag may mga tao nagsasabi tito moves, excuse me, walang tito moves na yung mga talagang rave na di ba? Yung mga Ibiza moves natin dyan, di ba? Hindi, ito talaga tito moves, yung hanggang dito lang gumagalaw. Gumagala. Tapos i-zoom in out mo lang yung video. Si camera mo ng 360 ganyan. Para, igaganon mo. Para mukhang, interactive. Alright, guys. Mukhang, let me thank, Morse Coffee. Feeling ko, it's the coffee I think, medyo hyper tayo na. Magkamali yata tayo sana. But guys, you get what I'm saying, right? Ay. Para di na tayo ma-depress, no? Nakaka-depress talaga yung politika natin. Kaya talagang kailangan natin magkalokohan. Anyway, I feel after yesterday na sobrang bigyan ng jacket. Bigyan natin ng jacket. Yesterday, after very serious discussions on Marxism and separation of church and state and laicite and all of that, and of course discussion also about the 3 scenarios of possible impeachment for Sara Duterte. I just felt medyo kailangan natin ng Philip Salvador Tito moves. Diba? Ganon. Alright. Thank you very much. God bless. And by the way, dun sa mga kaibigan natin iba dyan, don't forget, kung gusto nyo, mag-social-socialan. Tomorrow, we have a talk at 5 p.m. God willing dyan sa Manila House. Mga medyo feeling ilustrado, socialin, konyotic. Actually, inisip ko, gawa ko ng new series din. Parang 50 Shades of Konyo. Iba yung Konyo Davao, sa Konyo Baguio, sa Konyo ng Araneo, sa Konyo ng Lasal. Alam ko yan kasi nagturo ako sa ating Lasal and all of that. Iba rin yung Konyo ng mga anak ng mga Kastila na Konyo. Iba rin yung Konyo na mga Phil-Am, ganun. So, gawa tayo ng series na yan, mga 50 Shades of Konyotics. But anyway, speaking of Konyotics, tomorrow, if you want, guys, a bit posh about a bit high-class discussion, I'm gonna talk about the age of disruption. I'm gonna talk about the rise of BRICS, the rise of TikTok and ByteDance, and we're gonna talk about a little bit also about Bitcoin, BTS, and obviously BYD. So marami tayong pag-usapan na interesting na purong letter B na interesting. Technology, power, and of course, some reflections on the great conversations we had, not with Donald Trump, but with some of the other luminaries of the 20th century, and some of the greatest figures in history, and some of the also very controversial figures, including Henry Kissinger. So I'll share some of my reflections when it came to my discussions with former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger around 2 years ago when he was about to just turn 100 years old. He passed away last year, so at least we had a chance to have a kind of a proper discussion with Henry Kissinger. And Henry Kissinger, in that meeting, there were like 5 or 6 of us, supposedly leading thinkers in the Indo-Pacific region, different key countries in the region. And Henry Kissinger asked us point blank, what do you think will be the biggest challenges of the 21st century or something along those lines? So I will share my thoughts and responses that that was raised in light of Henry Kissinger's big Socratic questions, and we will bring in DeepSeek, Bitcoin, BRICS, lahat yan i-deconstruct natin and breakdown yan. So if you're willing to spare $1,000 or may membership kayo sa Manila House, you're more than welcome to join us. Thank you very much. God bless, and talk to you soon. Maraming salamat.